Well, hello there, everyone. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is great to be with you on Inspirations for Your Life. It's been a fun week. I know this is only Tuesday. It is February 10th, 2026. We only have 3 days until, just 3 days, actually, the fourth day, 1, 2, 3, really 4 days until we hit 3 days and then we hit Valentine's Day. We'll be talking more about that later. But anyway, probably tomorrow we'll talk about that. So, again, if this is your very first time here on Inspiration Your Life, I want to take the opportunity to say thank you and to welcome you to the show. Now being on the air 4 years, solid, and we're in our fifth year now, which means it's what Series 5 is. We're on the air basically 4 years and almost, let's see, a month and a half. So pretty cool, guys. All right, if you are coming back, of course, I want to take the opportunity to say thank you and welcome back. I always appreciate people that enjoy the content that I produce and want to improve the quality of their lives and the people they care so much about. If you're hungry or you're thirsty, feel free to go grab yourself something and come back. I have my RO water here. Very delicious, and it is great. Okay, guys, so we'll kick this off here in just a moment. I want to talk to you about what today's show is about. Today's show is a very interesting topic. It's Series 5, Show 7, Episode number 4. It's about clarity versus overthinking. And we know the master weekly theme is from fear to forward, choosing light, clarity, and, of course, momentum. This episode explores how clarity comes from action, not overthinking, and how decisive thinking builds momentum, confidence, and emotional strength. Oh, who am I? I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I'm an engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, graduate student, and a passionate lifelong learner. And it's my privilege and my pleasure to be with you here this evening. First point is why overthinking feels productive, but it isn't. Overthinking creates motion without progress. It's like if somebody was here and let's say they were putting something in order, right? And it looked like they were putting something in order, but really they were doing it wrong. And then somebody would have to basically come back and undo what they did and redo it. So that would be just a waste of time. When we do something wrong and it's not efficient, then we've got to go back to the drawing board, lose all those steps that we put in so well, and start all over again. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to understand, but guys, it's the truth. And a lot of people out there say they want the truth, but then when I talk to them is they really don't want the truth. And so that's an interesting predicament that some people, do. They say one thing with their mouth, but then their body acts a different way, almost like they're two-faced to themselves, right? All right, number 2, guys. Number 2 is this. Clarity comes from action, not rumination. Movement clears the mind faster than any thought can. And I know that sounds hard to believe. Try it. When you're moving, your life just sort of changes. Okay? And I know sometimes you'll be like, oh, how are we going to do this? And the way we do it is by becoming intentional. I think that's an important thing to understand, is being intentional. When we can be intentional, our life can really accelerate in a positive direction. All right, that's important to know. Number 3, how mental noise blocks intuition. Noise drowns out inner guidance. I don't know if you guys know this. And when it drowns out the inner guidance, it's like we're not getting the clear picture, the picture of what something really is, as opposed to an illusion of what we think it is. And that can be a very interesting thing for a lot of people because the media is designed to get you to believe something. Let's say that this box is red. Even though the box might be blue, the media is designed to convince you that it's red. So, more people buy red, just for example. Number 4, the cost of second guessing. Doubt delays momentum. Second guessing can drive yourself absolutely, it can drive yourself absolutely nuts. And I think that's something that a lot of people, don't realize is how this can drive people nuts and why it can drive people nuts. I think the reason why is because people don't understand what it means. Let's get right into number 5, shall we? All right. Number 5 is why simple decisions reduce stress. Simplicity calms the nervous system. Did you know that? Yes. Simplicity calms the nervous system. Maybe you're having a challenge right now and you're wondering what's going on or why something's going on, but suddenly you say, oh my gosh, I suddenly get it or I suddenly understand. And I think that's something that a lot of people, how can I say, they don't really get, but they understand one thing. They understand what people think it is, but that might not be what it actually is. Okay. That's important, guys. Very, very important. And when I say important, I mean important enough for us to think about, like, what it is. And what it is becomes a perception of ours, a perception that we think is one way, but actually we find out it's a different way, a way that we didn't even expect or that we thought existed. Okay. That's an important thing. And so hopefully that means something to you and to everyone around you. Let's jump into point 6, and that is clarity versus confusion. Sometimes people intentionally confuse things because they want you to make a mistake. They call it the competitive advantage. I call it being rude. Clarity versus confusion. Yes, clarity settles our mind. Confusion just spins it around like a whirlwind, like going on a merry-go-round, right? You can't really think when you're spinning. You've ever been on one of these rides? I think one of them you probably remember, like either the Tilt-A-Whirl or any other ride that goes more than 20 miles an hour. Like your brain's like, oh, right? Or my favorite is the Scrambler, right? That's another good one. Number 7, guys, how to trust your first grounded answer. Your calm answer is usually right. Now, we're going to have a whole series on a very important topic. I'm not going to let that out of the bag yet, but it's something I recently learned about myself and something I think you can learn about others. And what I want to say here is very important. And that is your calm answer. Sometimes when somebody's trying to get you to do something, when you can pull away, when you can calmly decipher something, right? People say, oh, I got to have an answer now, or I got to know now. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I need to sleep on. I need to think about it, and I'll get back to you, right? Or if you're on the phone, that sounds great. Let me look it over, and I'll give you a call back when I can in a few days. But it's in person. People don't feel like they have the ability to do that, but you absolutely do. That's a great idea you're presenting. I'm going to need a few days to go over it. Oh, I need the answer now. Like, but on the phone, people feel like they can just brush the person off and ask for time. But when they're in person, I guess they feel kind of scared to do that. You shouldn't. Absolutely not. Number 8, guys, why certainty is overrated. You don't need guarantees to move. If you're waiting for somebody to pat you on the back, well, move anyway. All right? Move anyway, because when you move anyway, you'll find that there never is a perfect time. There never is a perfect place. There's just the opportunity. And you can make it perfect and do something amazing with it. But that comes from belief, guys. That comes from belief. Number 9, clarity grows when you stop forcing outcomes. Clarity grows when you stop forcing outcomes. That's a very, very interesting one. Clarity grows when you basically stop forcing the outcome. So release sharpens our direction. Release sharpens our direction. And whenever we release, it's like we get this epiphany moment. You know what I mean, right? Number 10, thinking less, choosing better, fewer thoughts, improved choices. We've learned that with the what was that? This, I think it was called trying to remember the name of it now. It was called the SAS technique. Neville Goddard actually gave this to us, and the SAS technique is a very interesting technique. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled by Neville Goddard and act upon it with conviction. So sometimes it feels like nothing's working. So Neville was very clear about this. Even though people sometimes skip it, SATS fails when the mind is straining instead of yielding. So when you feel like you're not doing anything, you're actually doing more than you think. Common blocks, a lot of people say, is you're monitoring the results. You're trying to force beliefs. You're looping affirmations while you're still awake. You're emotionally invested in getting something instead of being it. You're attaching urgency. I need this to work. All of these keep you out of that state. Visualize to get something means no convincing, no repetition marathon, no hype, no effort. If you're doing hypnosis instead of drifting sats, it can't lock in properly. So this may sting a little bit, but it's the real truth. Your subconscious does not respond well to abstract magnitude. Billions is conceptual. Okay, your subconscious lives in sensory normalcy. Neville also said we use mundane confirmation scenes. The SAS technique, SATS, sleep akin to sleep, is I'm wealthy, I have billions, so that's bad sets, okay? Let's talk about good sets. You feel drowsy, your images are faint, not vivid, you almost don't care, your body feels heavy, you could fall asleep at any moment. Instead of a long recording, try 3 to 5 minutes of something, right? Start with safety, identity. Everything is handled now. I don't need to fix anything. Life is moving in my favor. The ordinary scene is a calm smile, relief in your chest, ease in your breathing, a quiet thought. It's already done. So I say this to you because when you're calm and you let go, your brain sort of works for you, right? Number 11, why clarity feels calm, and calm is clarity embodied. So when we have the calm mind, it's like everything operates in harmony. It's the best way to explain that. Number 12, letting go of mental loops, release, restores momentum. So you don't need to have loops. Nope. Number 13, the discipline of decisive thinking. Decisions are a daily skill, not something you do once and you forget about. They are daily, 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 daily. That's a very, very important one. I think that I want a lot of you to know about. Number 14, why clarity is a practice. Clear thinking is trained. Reducing complexity restores focus. Less creates power. How clarity improves execution. Clear minds act faster. Okay? When we're clear, we don't have baggage. We don't have other things that are holding us back. That's very important to understand. Number 17, guys. Why clarity accelerates momentum. See, direction creates speed. When we know what we're doing or we know where we're going, that's important to know. Very important to know. I think that's an important thing to understand. But it takes time. Does that make sense? Hope it does. And so sense comes from people knowing where we're going and what we're doing. Okay, that's a very important thing to note. Okay, when we know we're going, takes less time to get there. We don't have to decide. We know how to the process and we know it. We don't have to get hung up with how we do it. Direction creates speed. Number 18. Cutting through emotional fog. Clarity slices emotional very cleanly. The emotions have to be clean. Why clarity beats certainty. Direction matters more than the proof. I know we all want the proof. I know we all want the results. But it's more than that. It's absolutely more than that. It's about an inner feeling. The inner feeling allows us to get insights, to take inspired action. Direction matters more than the proof that many seek. Number 20, guys, how to simplify choices. Remove options until truth remains. Remove options until truth remains. That's an important thing to note, right? I think that's a very important thing for people to understand. And I think a lot of people, they get stuck in their ways and they feel that, well, if they can't do something one way, then there's no way for it to happen. I want to tell you something. When our Lord or God actually closes a door, it seems like there's no way out of the building. Somewhere, I promise you, he's going to open a window. And it might be small at first, but you're going to be able to crawl through the window or maybe even step through it. And you're going to find that you're going to have an amazing life that's going to open up into things you never dreamt were possible. You might get exactly what you want or something even better. So don't be judgmental about the package that it's coming in or the method. Number 21, guys, mental decluttering techniques. Clear before you choose. Clear before you choose. When you clear, you're able to choose something pretty wild. But we have to just let go of what's on our mind. What I've learned from being around for a long time is that we try to push sometimes too hard. And I don't know about you, but pieces in a puzzle go together a lot easier when you creatively play with them and you put them in the puzzle. You don't try to jam them in or get them in a, right? I remember having, do any of you guys remember the toy? It was called, I don't think they still have the toy anymore. It was called Perfection. Everybody remember that? I think it was Perfection by Milton Bradley. So does anybody remember Perfection? I don't know if they still have Perfection. Perfection. It was this timer game, and so the way Perfection worked, they have a version out now you can get on eBay, and so I still remember this. There's some people are selling it for very minimal amounts of money, and so the way how Perfection worked was pretty cool. You had all these pieces, okay, and what you had to do is you had to take all the pieces and you had to put them in the appropriate spots. There were like, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 5. So you had 25 pieces and you could set the timer anywhere from 0 to 60 seconds to put the pieces in. Now, here's the thing that's kind of interesting. When you got all the pieces in, you would hit the stop button. Okay? We'll switch. But if you didn't get the pieces all in, you know what happened? The table would push up. So when you start, you'd push the table down, and it would just push up, and all the pieces would just pop over like, So those are pretty good games. I remember Perfection, and then they had a newer version of Perfection that came out, a little bit different, but they're all kind of the same. I don't think you can buy Perfection anymore. You can get it on eBay. But why did I bring this up? I brought this up because a lot of times, we don't get where we want to go because we haven't practiced. Maybe you're climbing up a rock wall, and the first time you climb up, I don't know about you, but I think the rope just kind of spun, and I was like, I just came right down. You have to realize that you can't be an expert immediately, okay? And so I'm going to say something that I've said many times before. You don't have to be great to be a success, okay? But you do have to take the first step to get there. So you don't have to be great to be a success, but to be a success, you do have to start. So you don't have to be great to be a success, but you have to start. And once you start, then you can evolve. Number 22, guys. Why clarity improves confidence. Confidence grows when doubt fades. I've said this before. So when doubt fades, it's like we're getting this silent cheerleader. Does that make sense? You've got this cheerleader in your mind. And the cheerleader is saying, oh, wow, you can do it. See, many people, myself included when I was younger, I always waited for other people to pat me on the back. You don't need to do that anymore. You could be your own cheerleader. One thing about your own cheerleader is that you're always there for yourself. Maybe sometimes people are cheering me, they got tired. But you never get tired. You always cheer for yourself. Number 23, guys. Making peace with incomplete information. Move without all the answers, guys. There's a process in computers for an algorithm. And the way it works is one of the methods, it actually guesses. It's a loop optimization. It guesses. And if it guesses wrong, it might guess right. It keeps processing. If it gets to a certain point and it's guessed wrong, it has to start all over and throw everything away. But sometimes, a good percentage of the time, it guesses right. So it saves some time. So there's a trade-off there. Number 24, clarity through alignment. It's aligned values, simplify decisions. Yeah. Clarity, alignment. We don't get alignment overnight. We get alignment through showing up, being consistent, and living our core values. Number 25, guys, why clarity creates relief. Relief follows clear choices. When we have followed clear choices, we suddenly don't get stressed. We achieve what we want to do a lot easier. Okay. Number 26, letting clarity replace anxiety as direction dissolves anxiety. Let me say that again. Letting clarity replace anxiety. Direction dissolves anxiety. When we have our focus, our direction, our anxiety is minimized. Let me see if I can give an example. Maybe you're studying for a test, right? Or you're doing this thing for a test, and you have so much anxiety. But now you've done so many practice problems, and now when you do it, it's like, well, this doesn't bother me that much anymore because now I feel confident. My anxiety has dropped either nothing or maybe half. Number 27, guys, how clear thinking saves energy. See, confusion, I don't know if you know this, guys, confusion uses a lot more brain power. Yes, it does. It uses a lot more brain power. And that's a very important thing to realize. We want to use our energy for the right thing, and we don't want to waste our energy. I think that's really important to know. I know sometimes, we're thinking about things like, oh my gosh, like how can I do this? And how do I get this to work? And I think the way you get it to work is you have to give yourself some truth. You have to give yourself some truth. And that truth is not always easy. Okay, it's not always easy. And easy is not something that some people debate about. Easy is just something that affects whether somebody wants to go forward. I find that when something is not easy, we work a little bit harder, but then we appreciate the success from it. We appreciate the success from it. Pretty neat, right? Think about what that means for you. Think about how that changes your life. Think about what that could do for you. Quite a bit. Quite a bit. Number 28. Choosing direction over doubt. See, direction beats hesitation. We get clarity, less exhaustion, more productivity. And thus, you know what happens, guys? We yield to success. A lot of times we don't reach success because we burn out early. We burn out early. We've eaten all the candy in the bag. We've eaten all the popcorn before the movies even started. And then we get discouraged. You know, sometimes people say things to you or to me. And many years ago, I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. And I would allow that to impact my life. And I'm like, okay, they said that. It's interesting. I don't agree with it. So I disassociate with it. I don't put energy into it, and it doesn't control me. When you try to, let's say, either defend or to take so much energy to put into something, if you don't agree with something, just let it go. Let it flow away like a cloud, just, taking away your stress and all your worries. When we put that fight in, okay, if you don't agree with something, just don't do it. You don't need to get attached to it. See, that's what's causing the challenge for a lot of people. All right? That's what causes the challenge for a lot of people. And knowing the next step can be a problem. And the last point, guys, is clarity. Clarity is emotional intelligence. Clear thinking is emotional mastery. Please visit believemeachieve.com for more of my, of course, amazing, inspiring creations. And you can check all this out on your computer or mobile devices 24 hours a day. And I'll catch you real soon, everyone. Be well, okay? And remember, clarity versus overthinking will yield you success every day.